We move on to preview tomorrow's European Championship ties. There's some interesting ones, some big ones in my opinion. So I don't know if we should go from. Let's just go in or. We'll start off with Georgia Czechia. This is a game both teams will be entering on with coming off disappointing losses. Georgia losing to Turkey in a very up and down, exciting ball game. Czechia, squandered a lead to Portugal, suffered a last minute winner to Conceição. And, it's a game that both teams really have a chance to put their European Championship back towards the right direction. They're both teams to have a realistic shot to get out of this group will need 3 points. Is important for both teams. Obviously, Czech Republic is the favorite in this game when you look at just based on squad and talent of this team. I think they're the better team here. I think what the defensive resilience that they showed against Portugal shows that this team is good. But Georgia can put up a fight. I was very impressed with Georgia. They have some attackers. Georgia do. Georges Mukwatudsi. I thought he played very, very well in that game. He ended up getting that goal as well. I thought he was really, really brilliant. I think Georgia play nice style of play in terms of not being able to attack an opponent. They have their talisman in Kavica Kvaratskhelia, who was not at his best in that Turkey game. Didn't think he took it over the way I expected him to, but I think he'll be back at his best going up against the Czechs. Now the Czechs, they have quality. When you look at Patrick Schick, when you look at how strong that their defense showed that they can be against Portugal, their ability to play and counter the chances. They created a few chances and counter against Portugal despite not having much possession and not even bringing that many men forward. Shows that they do have quality in the team. They're coming into this European Championship in good form. They won every single game, all 5 games leading to this European Championship. They ended up losing that first game to Portugal, but it was in bad fashion. It was in a very tight fashion. I think they have more than enough talent. They have defensive resilience. I think they come out with this victory here, and I think they come out with this victory and make that final game against Turkey, one of the major showdowns for match day 3, because I really believe that game is, winner goes through to the knockout stages. I think it'll come down to those 2 teams. Now moving on, it'll be Turkey versus Portugal. Portugal really struggled last game against Georgia or against Czechia to really break down the team. Against Czechia over a tight Czechian team. And, I was really concerned with Portugal, how they performed. Not just their inability to break down a team, which is concerning, but defensively, I thought they got caught out in transition. Despite Czech Republic or Czechia not bringing many men forward in transition, not putting more guys forward. I thought Portugal, in the few opportunities that they were countered, I thought they looked very vulnerable defensively. I think the double pivot between Bruno Fernandes and Vitinha was horrible. And I just think it was too slow. The play needed to be a lot more sped up in that Portugal team. And there definitely needs to be a tactical switch from Roberto Martinez. Go back a little bit more to the formation and lineups that he played in European qualifiers where they were so dominant. Because in terms of possession, they were the aggressor and all that. But, you never really thought that they were really going to be able to break down this Czech team. Even their breakthrough came through an own goal. You never thought they were able to break them down. And, defensively, I think Bruno Fernandes and Vitinha as the double pivot doesn't give you much. Now, Roberto Martinez is looking at this Czechia team and thinking, we're probably going to have majority of the ball. We need the most, progressive midfielders in there. But against, against the Turkey team that I think has a little bit more quality, will strike a little bit more fear in Portugal, I can't see. You gotta bring in someone that can do more of a holding role in that position. Now, Now, Turkey is coming off a victory. Arda Güler, what a player, what a talent, such an amazing talent. The confidence he plays with, despite being 19 years old, is absolutely sensational. I always knew his ability to, he plays for Real Madrid, so obviously he is quality. But I always knew his ability of being able to play in tight spaces was brilliant. But his ability to score that goal, too, I did not see this coming. But there's a big caveat here. Arda Güler is doubtful for that Turkey game against Portugal. He is doubtful. He is physically not 100%, according to Turkish coach, Turkey's coach Vincenzo Montella, and he'll be assessed later on tomorrow before the game. But it seemed like there's some sort of injury and he's not 100%. And Montella, he would not tell us exactly what the injury was. That is a massive, massive concern because Arda Güler is their talisman. Despite his age, he's the guy that Turkey will go through. Now they do still have the likes of Hakan Çalhanoğlu, who's a very good midfielder. What he's done at Inter Milan, and they have a very solid defense despite the injuries that they've suffered in center back. But if they don't have Arda Güler, they're just lacking that little bit of dynamism going forward, which could be still concerning. I still think they have overall quality and they really can make this Portugal team pay. But, doing it without Arda Güler doesn't make it that much worse or that much harder for them. Now, as far as Portugal, and now as far as this game, it's a tough one to choose. I don't trust Portugal. I think there's a clear tier 1 of teams with the likes of Spain, Germany. I'm missing someone. France. Spain, Germany, France. There's a clear tier 1 of Spain, Germany, France. I don't see Portugal in that tier. I see Portugal in the tier of the likes of the Netherlands, the Englands, the Italies, the teams that all, because of their big names, they'll act like they're contenders to win this European Championship. But we know none of those teams really have a chance. I think Portugal is in that facet, not just because of the manager, but also I think the bottle of these players is something I really underestimate. I think Ronaldo in these games, maybe he could be beneficial in being a box striker, but against the better teams, or even against the likes of Turkey, I think he could be found out in the fact that he doesn't press. He provides no really threat in behind, because he doesn't have the pace that he once had. And, a lot of what he does is just simply being a poacher, trying to find the little spaces in between center backs or center back and fullbacks, trying to get a header off, and he needs something a little bit more from a striker. And I think that, I think Portugal, but in this game, I think maybe they can sneak it out. I think it'll be a tight, cagey affair. I think it'll be tight. If I had to say, I'd probably predict a 1-1 draw in sort of that esque. I think Portugal are the favorites, don't get me wrong, but I don't think there'll be much in this game tomorrow. I think Turkey will go in there rather a little bit more conservative in the fact that, especially if they don't have Arda Güler, they'll be comfortable. We go into that final game with 4 points. It puts ourselves in a good position. But we'll see. Then it comes down, in my opinion, this is the game I'm actually looking forward to most. Belgium taking on Romania, in the fact that Belgium really need this game. They're coming off an opening day loss. A lot of people jumped on them saying, yeah, this is definitely done. This team has no chance, all that, blah, blah, blah. I chose them to win the tournament beforehand, so I'm hoping for some sort of revival in this game. I fully expect it to come because if you analyze the performance in that opening game, the performance was not the issue. The result was. I thought Belgium actually performed pretty well, and they were very unlucky not to at least get an equalizer throughout the game. Now, the lack of cutting edge and the lack of clinicalness, or if that's a word, from Romelu Lukaku was concerning, and something that we've kind of grown to expect, but he has to turn it on. This Belgian team has to turn it on. Now, Romania is a very strong defense and is a team that'll be comfortable. Not having majority in possession and defending and and taking advantage of opportunities in transition and being very, very clinical. They did that against Ukraine supremely. So this is not some sort of game that Belgium should take lightly. Romania is a team that can really threaten them in transition. They'll be clinical, which Belgium are not. And they'll be clinical. So it could go wrong for Belgium. But I think overall Belgium quality is going to be just too much. I think they'll find the breakthrough eventually. They'll get that one slip. They'll get the breakthrough. And if they are able to get the breakthrough, I think it'll be much more smooth sailing for them. They can't go down a goal early and have to put themselves in a position to chase the game, because that kind of puts them, that kind of puts the ball in what Romania wanted it to be. It puts the game in their hands, and Belgium cannot do that. They have to, and I think it's very important that they start off with Doku on the left-hand side as opposed to the right-hand side, because he was not as effective. When he got to the left-hand side, in my opinion, he was the man of the match in that second half. Put him on that left-hand side so he can cut in on his stronger right foot. And if Trossard is not able to play on that right-hand side, then bring in somebody else, because, Doku gives you more playing on the left-hand side than Trossard will. That's just the truth.